Have you ever felt like there's a secret language to real connection? You know, a powerful way to communicate that works just as well when things are tense as it does when you're having a heart-to-heart with someone you love. Well, there is, and it's a framework that might just change the way you connect with, well, pretty much everyone in your life.
Okay, I know. It sounds like the beginning of a bad joke, right? What could a hostage negotiator possibly have in common with a couples counselor? I mean, one deals with life or death situations and the other deals with matters of the heart. They seem worlds apart.
But the answer is actually fascinating. They both rely on the exact same set of powerful communication tools. Why? Because their goals are the same: build trust, de-escalate conflict, and create real, genuine understanding. And the best part is, it's a framework that anyone, and I mean anyone, can learn.
So, let's start with the absolute foundation of this whole approach. It's a technique that's surprisingly simple, but honestly, incredibly effective. It's called mirroring.
So, what is mirroring? At its core, it's the art of reflecting back what someone else is saying and doing. Now, this is really important. This isn't about being a parrot or just mindlessly mimicking them. It's about thoughtfully repeating or paraphrasing their key words to send one powerful message. I hear you, I'm paying attention, and I am genuinely trying to see this from your perspective.
And this is where it gets really cool. In your personal life, with your partner or friends, mirroring helps build intimacy. It makes them feel truly heard and respected, which, as you can imagine, strengthens that emotional bond. But then, in a professional setting, that same exact technique builds rapport and helps you gain influence, because it shows the other side you're taking their point of view seriously.
And check out how simple this can be. Let's say a negotiator says something like, "I've had a really difficult year, financial and personal stress." A masterful response? Just mirror those last few critical words back, but as a question. Financial and personal stress? That's it. That little prompt encourages them to keep talking, to go deeper, and you've barely had to say a thing. But look, effective mirroring isn't just about the words you say. Think about it. So much of our communication, sometimes more than half of it, is nonverbal. So mirroring body language, things like making eye contact, maybe adopting a similar posture, or noticing if they lean in, that stuff subconsciously signals that you're on the same team. It builds a connection without you saying a word. Okay, so mirroring is the first step. It's like the key that unlocks the door, but it's just the beginning. Now we're going to see how it combines with validation and empathy to create a connection that's truly profound.
There's actually a structured method that therapists use called the Imago couples dialogue, and it lays this all out perfectly. It's a simple three-step process. You start with mirroring, and then you build on it with two other absolutely essential skills: validation and empathy.
Now, the most important thing to get about validation is that it is not agreement. You don't have to agree with them at all. It's just about letting the other person know that what they're saying makes sense from their point of view. A simple phrase like, "I can totally see why you'd feel that way," or, "That's a fair point," shows them that you see their position as legitimate, and that makes people feel truly heard.
And finally, there's empathy. This is where you try to step into their shoes and identify the feeling that's underneath all the words. Here's a great tip from therapists. Try to state the emotion you're picking up on. Something like, "I can imagine you must be feeling really heard." See how that's different from saying, "Well, I feel that," which is just your opinion? Empathy is all about focusing on their emotional experience.
But here's the thing. These techniques aren't just clever psychological tricks. They're actually deeply, deeply wired into our brains. And there's some really fascinating science that explains exactly why they're so powerful.
Psychologists have a name for this. They call it the Chameleon Effect. And you've probably felt it. It's our subconscious, totally automatic tendency to mimic the people we're with. You start using their slang, or maybe you pick up their mannerisms without even realizing it. We all do this to kind of blend in and build social bonds. And this image just illustrates our core instinct as social creatures perfectly. Just like a chameleon changes its color to fit into its environment, we subtly adapt our behavior to survive socially, to feel like part of a group, to build relationships, and just to navigate this incredibly complex world of human interaction. And the engine driving all of this is a remarkable set of brain cells called mirror neurons. You can think of them as your brain's Wi-Fi. They're amazing. They fire not only when we do something, but also when we just watch someone else do it. It's why you wince when you see someone get hurt. Your brain is, on some level, experiencing it with them. These neurons are the very basis for how we learn by imitation and, crucially, how we feel empathy.
So this brings us to the big question.
Why does all of this really matter? Well, this whole mirroring system isn't just some nice-to-have social skill. It is absolutely fundamental to how we function as human beings.
And to really appreciate how important it is, it's worth asking the opposite question. What happens when this incredibly intricate system doesn't work the way it's supposed to?
Well, one major idea out there is called the broken mirror theory. It suggests that differences in how this mirror neuron system works might be connected to some of the social and cognitive experiences seen in conditions like autism spectrum disorder or schizophrenia. Now, it's just one piece of a very, very complex puzzle, of course, but this theory really highlights how vital this system is for navigating our social world.
And that brings us right back to a fundamental question for our own lives. In our day-to-day conversations, are we just hearing the words, maybe just waiting for our turn to talk? Or are we really truly listening? By consciously using these tools, mirroring, validation, empathy, we can literally transform our interactions from just an exchange of information into a genuine moment of human connection. And isn't that what we're all looking for?